And that's what true enlightenment is, because thinking outside of it and being conscious of it is good, but it takes time. And often in the most extreme scenarios of life, the one thing you will not have is very much time. There has to be instant and complete decisions, and there has to be final scenarios, final, what's the word I'm looking for? Consequences.
Is that something you trained yourself to do?
I think that life's trained me to be that way. This is what happens when you've had a varied enough life. I talk often about the importance of trauma as a man. I think that if you were to find the most interesting or most capable men on the planet, they've had the most trauma-filled lives. I just think that trauma is what teaches you. We talked earlier about how you have to have lessons taught to you the hardest way. If you were to call a Navy SEAL and ask him to protect you going into a building full of assailants, you'd like to think that guy's been through some stuff. You'd like to see some scars, right? You wouldn't want Mr. Freshface to turn up. This is the reason why we instinctively don't trust youth, because you look at a kid, if a wealth manager walks in and he's 18, you're like, oh, you don't know about life. You must grow into wisdom. You can't just pick it up, right? Trust your elders, listen to your elders, etc. These are age-old ways of thinking. So lessons and trauma, and the more you go through, the better of a man you are. And if you were to find the best men on the planet, I guarantee they've been through a bunch of terrible things. And if you listen to podcasts from any of the most interesting people on the planet, usually they've had hard, terrible lives. And you can use that trauma to become a better person, or you can let that trauma consume you and destroy you. But I thank God for all of it, because it gave me endless power to become the person I am. Because they were attacking it.
Right.
So we built all the infrastructure ourselves.
So you're decentralized?
Completely. So it can't be attacked anymore. And that's the real world, and we can teach people how to make money. And the reason I teach people how to make money is because money is stage one to escaping the matrix. You can't think for yourself and talk the things you believe if you need that wage and that person tells you to shut up. You can't. The reason everyone wore the mask is because they had to pay their mortgage.
Or their wife told them to.
Or their wife told them to. That's right, yeah. So if you need breadcrumbs and you're a starving man, you can't really talk to the guy who has all the bread and tell him to get fucked, right? So the first thing you do when someone says to me, I want to escape the matrix, I think for myself is, okay, then you need to be prepared financially. You need money to go to war. So the first thing I do is I teach anybody who's a fan of mine to make as much money as possible. And I don't do that to make money. In fact, the school is ridiculously cheap. It's so cheap, it's less than a lunch. And you can find out more on CobraTate.com. But the reason I do
what was the link again?
CobraTate.com.
Right.
But anybody who is a fan of mine, I want those people to be as wealthy as possible, because they agree with my mindset. And I want to equip my soldiers. I don't want everyone who agrees with me to be an unimportant brokey. I want the people who agree with me to be influential and rich. And I want them to be able to stand up and talk and fight for themselves. So this is the reason I teach people how to make money, because I know anybody who resonates with my message, the wealthier they get, the better the war is going to be for me. So I wouldn't consider it philanthropic. I have an agenda, but my agenda is to find anybody who agrees with me and give them as much money as possible. So that's the real world, which is launching on CobraTate.com, because that's stage one. You're asking how to escape. Stage one is you must make money. I've tried very hard to help people with no money, but there's just too many blocks in the way. You can't put that on social media. You can't afford a day off work. You can't afford your boss to get mad. You can't afford to get arrested. You can't get a lawyer. You can't fight. You can't fight. You need bullets in your gun. So stage one is to get rich. Then you have to get rich while preserving your soul. And that's a harder part, right? Because as you get rich, as you climb, there are many different hands trying to drag you in different directions.
He says, looking at me over his glasses.
You have women, gambling, drugs, degeneracy, hedonism.
Isn't that why you have money?
Well, this is it. And you can dabble, but you certainly don't want to lose your soul completely.
Yeah.
You have large business interests offering more money, more power to believe X, to say X. I can sit here and say now, I have never sold a scam to anybody. I don't sell crypto pump and dumps to anybody. I don't sell soft drinks full of sugar to anybody. I've been offered money by gambling companies. I said no. I only thing I teach is teach people how to make money, and I know it works because I do it all myself. Me and my professors teach what we already do to all become multimillionaires to people, and I've told the reason why. They've tried to get me to sell my soul, to sell crap to the world, endless times, and I've never done it. So you have these offers, right? When you're the most Googled man on the planet, do you have any idea how much they'll pay you to sell bollocks to people? Andrew, hey, here, this energy drink, say it's what you.
Exactly. Like, how can we not respect this man as I think he's a millennial generation? He speaks his mind. He's like 9 out of 10 times right, in my opinion. As a millennial female, I think he's right about women's attitudes these days, that they place so much emphasis on looks and fake lashes and surgeries and whatever, having the lifestyle, being a boss bitch. But truly, in my opinion, my humble opinion is men are strong. In times of war, God forbid, like, we would want men in our capacity to fight. So, in my opinion, and I don't care to say it, like, as a woman, I feel very weak. I feel very scared to go out in the world on my own at times, just being kind of a small body frame, and like someone could easily overpower me. I'm not stupid, and I carry a knife and stuff. I have a gun, but that doesn't really matter if there's an element of surprise and someone really wants to harm me. I personally, I like to have a man to protect me, and I don't love relying on someone else. I don't love that part, but it is what it is. And as a female, like, I have my education to back me up in case I am on my own, but I don't mind relying on a man. And a man who agrees or is in line with Andrew Tate is definitely in support of myself as a female millennial.